Welcome to Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's Abyss, and in this video, I'm going to talk about some tips and tricks that I wish I knew earlier. Now remember to hit that like button and subscribe to help support the channel. Alright, first thing up is your camera settings. So you want to go to the main menu, and all the way at the bottom is System. Select that, and then select Options. Then scroll down to Cameras and Controls and select that. The first two options is the camera distance. Out of battle and in battle, the default is at 1, and you can change it to 1, 2, or 3. I recommend at 3. That is basically going to zoom out. At 1, it'll be zoomed in. Now, it's not too big of a difference, but I prefer it actually at 3, and this is something that is very easy to overlook. So you want to test it out and see what you like better. Alright, so next up is battle settings. So we're heading back into the main menu again and then select battle settings. This right here is where you're going to set up your shortcuts. One of them I recommend that you set up is going to be your assess materia that you're going to get in chapter 3. This will allow you to analyze enemies. This is going to pay off later on down the road. The other 3 you can set up something like Cura for health, fire or thunder as a spell, and then your favorite ability. It's just, whatever you like to use the most. And also make sure that you set up your party members too. So whenever you switch to them, their shortcuts will be all set up. So when you're in combat, everything is just going to run smoother. All you have to do is press the L1 button, and then you'll have your 4 shortcuts right there. You can assess an enemy real quick. You can heal an ally real quick. You can use a spell real fast or your favorite ability. The flow of combat will run so much smoother. Next, I want to talk about a parry move that Cloud does. Very useful against these annoying enemies like these riot troopers right here that your attacks basically will bounce off. So you want to be in Punisher mode, right? And right before the enemy is about to attack, you're going to press triangle. If you do this correct, you will see it come up and say block, and you will do a devastating counter back. This is very useful against annoying enemies with shields like these riot troopers. Again, press the triangle button while in Punisher mode just before the enemy is going to attack to do a devastating counter back. Next, I want to quickly talk about Barret's Overcharge attack. So whenever he's using his regular attack and he runs out of ammo, you'll see Barret bring his arm up and then to his side to reload the ammo. When he does this, that's when you want to hit the triangle button. So as he's bringing the arm up and then to his side, you're hitting the triangle button, and you'll notice that your charge gauge will get a nice little boost. This will help you with your overcharge ability and charging it faster. As soon as he runs out of ammo, he'll bring that arm up to his side, and as he's doing that, hit that triangle button to quickly charge your gauge. This is something that's going to be useful whenever you're using Barret. Next, I want to talk about enemy intel. So in chapter 3, you're going to meet a new character called Chadley. He will give you a assess materia, which will allow you to analyze enemies. This is going to be extremely important, and you want to do this with every single enemy that you first encounter. A nice little trick about this is you can press the touchpad, and this will show you the enemy's intel right there on the screen, and pause the game. This will let you know if you have studied that enemy or not. Like there's this one right here where I didn't study because there's a bunch of question marks right there. So now I can quickly assess the enemy and know what the weakness is. Most of them are kind of common, like robots is lightning, humans is fire, but you still want to assess every single enemy that you run into. Chadley is going to have some materias that you're going to want to get later on, so make sure you complete his objectives. Plus, hitting that touchscreen to find out what the enemy's intel is going to help you out in the long run, especially during boss fights. Next, I want to quickly talk about materia. You want to make sure that all of your weapons and accessories has a materia in the slot. Every time you defeat an enemy, you will gain AP to level up the materia that is equipped. Each materia has a tier, and the higher the level goes, the more potent the spell is going to be. You want to max out the healing ones and all of the elemental ones, fire, ice, lightning, and so on. Get these to max because it will help you later on during boss fights and harder difficulties. Plus, keep a lookout when upgrading your weapons for new materia slots. This way you can add more materia to your equipment. Next, I want to talk about weapon ability. Each weapon has a unique ability. You want to use that ability a bunch to increase its proficiency. When the proficiency is maxed out, then you will learn the ability, which will allow you to use that ability on a different weapon. So anytime you get a new weapon, make sure you are spamming that new ability. This way, when it gets maxed out, then you will be able to use that ability on a stronger weapon. To check, you need to go to the main menu, then select Materia and Equipment, then select a character, and select a weapon. To the right, it will tell you what the proficiency is at, whether it is 100% or less. So now you know if you need to work on that one or not. Make sure though you work on every single new weapon so that you can unlock all of these new abilities. Next, I want to talk about the Moogle medals. So for this, you're going to be able to spend them in Chapter 8 once you start doing these side quests. That's when you're going to get introduced to the Moogle shop. So what you're going to want to do though, early in the game, you want to start searching for these. Any kind of those destructible boxes that you can destroy with your weapon, those have them. Any kind of containers or chests, those have a possibility of having them too. So if you're searching early on in the game for them, by the time you get to Chapter 8, you'll have enough medals to spend inside the shop. There are some rare items that you can pick up. There is a music disc that you can pick up if you're going to collect all of them, weapons, accessories, and more. So start looking early for these so that when you get to Chapter 8, you'll have enough to spend. Next up is the Steel Materia. So this is where you're going to get from Chapter 8 when you visit Chadley for the second time. As long as you are working on your battle intels by using the SS Materia all the time since Chapter 3, you will most likely complete majority of those battle intels when you get to that chapter. He has a bunch of new materias that you will get, so you definitely want to start working on those early on or anytime that you have an opportunity. The Steel one is one of my favorite ones because you can go and replay older bosses and get unique items, or the ones that are coming up, you can steal unique items from them, or regular enemies, you can steal items from them too. Keep in mind you can press the touchpad and then the intel will tell you at the bottom left what the stealable item is. Now it's not always 100%, but there's a still good rate that you can steal from them. So just make sure you are completing the battle intels for Chadley so that you can get these unique materias. Next, I want to talk about Multiuse. So when you press the X button for the command menu, and then you want to select items, and then let's say potions, you can hold down the L1 button and now it'll go white where it says Multiuse. Then you can spam the X button to use multiple items very quickly. This is definitely handy if you need to heal up really quick and you can't find a bench. Alright, there you have it. Those are the tips and tricks that I wish I knew earlier. If there's anything else that you would like to add, then please leave them in the comments down below. But other than that, I hope you all enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to support the channel, and I will see you next time.